Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Hey traders, happy Monday to you guys, especially for you guys down here in Australia. And also moving forward, let's get straight into it, guys. We're going to have a bit of market update, the SP 500, Dow Jones, and so on and so forth, what's going on there. So that's what I'll be covering with that there, what's going on right now. And it's probably not what you think when it comes to the actual stock market. Well, that's the Dow Jones and so on and so forth. I'm going to be covering silver and gold as well too in this video. Also, we're covering the GDX, GDXJ, mining stock, and also SILJ. We're covering the Bitcoin, the bit of a Bitcoin there. And also, very lastly but least in today's video, man, I'm going burping like crazy right now. It's getting all this gas. One stock set to make a nice move. So that's what I'm going to be covering today, guys. And I think you're going to really like that stock. That looks like it's going to make a nice move up for where we are right now. Well, it's getting ready to do that, I believe. And it's probably going to make a very, very nice move. So that's a bit of a gift for you guys at the end of this video. So let's get straight into it, guys. Let's start off with the... what do we got here? Let's start off with the good old Dow Jones. Okay, so good old Dow Jones right now has been rallying to the upside. Okay, so for you guys, as you guys know, right, like I started getting a bit bearish through here. Okay, so I started to get a bit bearish because we started to close below this low through here. Let me just do that again. So right here, okay, I started to get bearish through here. Now, as soon as we popped up through there, I no longer become bearish. Why? Because we're no longer going down, all right? We're starting to break back up, and especially when we got this through here. So for you guys that think that I've been bearish for the last few weeks, I haven't. I was bearish through here, and then the market popped up. But ever since then, I haven't actually been bullish or bearish on the markets. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know how far this was going to run up. So I had really no opinion based on that. That's why I haven't been doing much market updates on the Dow Jones, S&P, and so on and so forth, right? Now, with that being said, guys, you know, even though I've been quite bearish, guess what? Most of my trades have actually been bullish trades, right? So I'm in one trade right now that's like at 200% plus. Guess what that is? That's actually a bullish trade I've been into now for probably 3 weeks now, right? It's about 200% plus, but that's more of a that's a individual stock trade that I'm in right now. That's about 200% plus with the option there. But I have it expires at the end of this year, right? The option I'm in, so I think this has a lot more to go, and I'm going to just give it a bit more time. Then I had also. I'm actually in one trade right now. That guess what? I got into that a couple of days ago. I think it was Thursday last week. Guess what? That's also a bullish trade. So people say that I'm not bullish the market. I'm just like, that's bullish there. Then I also had another. This was what I call a short-term trade. I'm out of that now. I was in and out last week. Guess what? That was also a bullish trade. And then I also had another trade last week, and guess what? That was also a bullish trade as well too. So as you can see, right, like I think when we start to look at these markets, guys, like you can say, okay, this is what the market looks like it's doing right now, but don't be a bull or a bear. Don't be bullish or bearish the market. Be a trader, right? Don't be bullish, don't be bearish. Be a trader. Okay, my system says go long now. Okay, I'm going long. That's not objective. It's systematical process of getting in. And you do that and you stick to that. You're probably likely to do well long term. You know what I mean? You're gonna have your losses, most profits, rinse, recycle, repeat, make money. Makes sense. So I think us throwing our objective into these markets is probably the wrong thing to do. You know what I mean? So as I said before, like if you guys think, oh, you know, I had one comment on my YouTube video. When was it? I think a couple of days ago. Say, oh, you know, every time John's bullish the markets, you know, every time John's bearish the markets, I'm gonna go bullish. Well, most of you guys don't. I'm not sure if you guys, as I said before, most of you guys don't know, but most of my trades have actually been bullish trades. Why? Because not because I'm bullish the markets, it's because my system said this is the time to enter. So, but with that being said, guys, looking at the Dow Jones, okay, looking at the Dow Jones and looking at the S&P 500, we can see that we're starting to really gallop up through here, okay? If I bring up that weekly chart, just a very nice move up. Now, the interesting thing I really want to sort of share with you here, let me bring up, say, the last 1 year worth of data here. And I really want to share something with you here that's quite interesting that I'm seeing right now, okay? So very move up. And we had this bit of a gap up through here, all right? So look at this here. So we had a bit of a gap up and a pause through there with a massive volume here. There's generally three types of gaps in the markets that you'll see, okay? And there's no guarantees of what it's going to be, but whenever you see a break, whenever you see a gap at the start of a move, that's a breakaway gap. Okay, so if the market, like you see how the market's gone sideways and we had a bit of a gap here and a bit of a gap down, guess what? That's what's called a breakaway gap. A breakaway gap simply means exactly what we're doing, right? It's breaking away and it's starting the next move. So generally, a lot of the times you'll see these gaps in the markets, right? These small little gaps. So the first gap is generally what we call a breakaway gap, as you saw through here. The second gap you see, if it's in that leg down, you'll see what's more like a continuation gap. So if you the first gap here, okay, so the first gap is breaking away into that direction there. The second gap that we're seeing through here is more like a continuation gap, okay? So if I look through here, there was a little bit of a gap through there, wasn't there? A little bit of a gap. So we'd probably say this gap here is probably likely to be a bit of a continuation gap, right? Bit of a continuation gap through there. And then the third gap is probably like to be a bit of an exhaustion gap where you get that little last hooray type thing, you know what I mean? So you can see through there wasn't really any gaps through there, but there was this bit of a gap through here. There wasn't any last hooray, right? This gap here, right? So there's probably, actually looking at this here, yeah, I'd probably say that through there, right? So there's a bit of a continuation. So you'll get the breakaway gap, the continuation gap, and the exhaustion gap. And so you can see that through there, right? So you can see what happened through here, came down. We didn't really get an exhaustion gap, did we? But we did get a reversal through here. Look, what was this through here? This was now what? This was now a bit of a what? A breakaway gap, right? Now, they don't always happen in threes. Sometimes you only get a breakaway gap and that's it. But the gap at the gap at the start of a move is very powerful sometimes. Now, not a massive gap, and I actually love with my system, if I see the market's not doing much and then suddenly we get a little bit of a gap and then the market runs, oh, I love that. I absolutely love that because it's a breakaway gap, right? So that's the reason why down here, that was a breakaway gap. Probably like there's a little bit of a gap here, so that could be the continuation gap and a little bit of a gap there, a bit of an exhaustion gap, because then we started to roll over. So we can see there's three types of gaps that you generally want to look out for. Now, how do you know which is which? How do you know what is a breakaway gap, what is a continuation gap, and what is an exhaustion gap? We've got to see where it's at, right? So let me give you a hypothetical example here. If you see a market that's just been doing this through here, right? Just sideways through here, not really doing much, right? It hasn't really doing much. It's not making a move, is it? We're not really moving in a direction there. So if the market gaps up and has like that, guess what? That's now likely to be what? A breakaway gap. Why? Because it's breaking away from not really doing much. It's not. We haven't started the move, so it can't be a continuation gap because we're not continuing a move yet. That hasn't actually moved up or down. And it can't be an exhaustion gap because an exhaustion gap generally happens at the end of moves. So if we see this through here, right, we have this sideways movement and then the market gaps up, it's saying breakaway gap is a sign of we're likely to start a move now in that direction. And that's the reason why it's so powerful. So that's the first thing, right? This is where we're likely. A continuation gap is probably you're likely to see that as the market's been moving in that direction, right? So we might go up through here, we might have a bit of a sideways movement and then a bit of a gap up again, right? What is that? This is now likely to be what? This gap here, breakaway gap, continuation gap. Why? Because we're actually in the move right now. And then what you'll start to see is you'll see something like this. Maybe it just goes sideways for a bit. We're still in the move, right? And then suddenly you get a bit of a big gap up through here like that. What's this likely to be now? Exhaustion gap. Why? Because the market is now the market has been moving in a direction for quite a period of time now. So you got to sort of, there's not an exact science, right? But you start to say, okay, if this is a gap here, the first gap, the breakaway gap, are we coming off a period we're not really doing much? If so, then that's probably likely to be a breakaway gap and we're likely to start and move up. And then if we do see a gap, but the market has been moving up for a little bit, okay, this is probably like a bit of a continuation. But if we see the market moving up a lot like here, and then suddenly, bam, we get a bit of a gap, that's probably likely to be what we call an exhaustion gap in that move. And then we're probably likely to start to see something like that there. Or, or we could just see a bit of a push up and then say something like that there, right? Not exactly there, moving through there. Now, moving on to what I'm seeing right now, the reason I'm pointing that is because I'm seeing that's what we've been seeing through here right now, okay? We can see that we had this one gap through here, which is a bit of a breakaway gap, okay? Then it ran up, came down, guess what? A little bit of a gap up, and then we got another gap through here, which is probably like the continuation gap. And then it ran up, and now we've got this other gap through here, right? See that gap through there? So that's now likely to be what? An exhaustion gap. So what does that mean? Doesn't mean it's going to completely reverse tomorrow. It may, but there's a very good chance, even if we did run up a little bit more, there's a very good chance that we're likely to start to see at least a pullback, right? Not a complete bear market or something like that, because we're not in the bear market right now, at least on the short term. Long term, yeah, that's a different story. But right now, on the short term, we're not in a big bull market, but we're even if we did get a bit of a short term up move, guys, on the Dow Jones, we're probably likely to see a bit of a short term correction, and based on this movement through here, especially where we are right now on the Dow Jones. So that's what I'm seeing through there, guys, when it comes to the Dow Jones, and the same for the SP500. We're sort of getting the same sort of thing here, right? Bit of a strong gap up, and I'm getting a massive volume spike as well too. So that tells me we're probably getting towards the end of some sort of a move here. But that being said, guys, I wouldn't want to step in front of this. I definitely wouldn't want to be shorting this right now, because that'd be the wrong thing to do. But that's what I'm seeing through there, guys, when it comes to that as well too. Moving on now through to silver and gold. I see right now that gold has had this squeezing up pattern. I said we're probably likely to break to the downside. We did. We're continuing that downward move. So I would probably see, we're probably likely to see a lot more pressure on the downside on gold. Moving on now through to silver. Silver right now, long term, if I bring up my weekly charts through here, silver long term, we have this sort of compressing up triangle pattern, and we see how this little, it's not an exact there. Let me bring this exactly through here. All right, so somewhere through there, I would say. So see how we're squeezing up into this overall triangle pattern. That's going to be really interesting if we go to the daily chart. See, this is probably the triangle pattern here that we're looking at on the daily chart, somewhere through there. So once we start, if we can start to go sideways for a lot longer and then break out, that's going to be very, very, very powerful for silver. And as you guys know, right, if you guys have been following me for quite some time, you would know that I've been saying for a few months now that this low through here is what I believe is the low for many years to come, and we're probably likely to continue this bull market that we're seeing through there right now. So really, really interesting stuff. Looking out through to the GDX, and the GDX has been rolling over. I did a video on this day right here, and I said get ready for the rollover. We have actually started rolling over through here. Even though the market is rolling over through here, we may get a little bit more downside, guys, but it's probably likely to be very short-lived, okay? So I definitely want to be shorting the GDX right now. It's probably for a long-term opportunity. If I bring up my weekly charts, for a longer-term opportunity, we see major support levels down here around 30, somewhere around about there. So we're almost there right now. So again, the pullback here that's happening, it's likely to be very short-lived before the buyers come back in again. So a nice sort of pullback through there. Same for the GDXJ as well too, right? We're getting a little bit of a break back to the downside out of this sort of double top and now a breakdown. If we do continue to see a bit of a pullback through here, it's probably likely to be short-lived. We may get it's probably in the even overall scheme of things, we may get a bit of a short-term pullback, but long-term, guys, I'm bullish GDXJ. We're just going through a bit of a short-term pullback right now. SIL and SILJ. This SILJ has been pretty strong right now, right? We're still creating these still creating this low point through here. We've got a higher low through here, higher low through here, and we're still creating this little higher low through here as well too. So, and the way that we're looking at through here right now, right? Just to me, it looks very, 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 very bullish in the way that we actually may be getting ready to have a bit of a move to the upside out of here. When it comes to the SIL, we've got a very nice, look at this here, very nice run up, sideways, see that little gap there, little breakaway gap, and a nice move up, came back down, little reversal, ran up, came back down, and now we're bouncing off this level through here. So I wouldn't be too surprised to actually see, on a short-term basis, SILJ continue up just on a short-term basis there. But the SILJ, it's really weird, right? The SILJ though, at that SILJ as I was looking at right there, right, just there. But if I'm looking at the SIL to me, it looks like we're probably likely to start to head down towards this $30 level. So really weird there, right? So it's a bit of a sort of a catch-22 sort of thing, which one's going to work out, which one's not, and so on and so forth. So again, I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a bit of a bullish action out of SIL through there, but then the SILJ is giving that sort of action that's going on through there, which is not really. Again, I'm using this projection of $30 based on this short-term double top. We have this top through here, this double top action through here, and then we're actually at this neckline right now. So that's why I say we're probably likely to drop to the downside based to the $30, and that's just simply just a projection on the head and shoulder formation through there. And so that's what I'm seeing there right now, guys, when it comes to everything. Now, let's go have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been, Bitcoin right now, guys, to me is shaping up to have a really nice move to the upside. Really nice move to the upside. If I have a look at the weekly charts through here, let's go weekly charts. If I have a look at my weekly charts, I can see in the weekly chart we've had this massive V bottom. So this is a massive V bottom through here. So I believe this is the low in Bitcoin for probably many years to come. We're probably likely to continue up from here and make a very nice move. We can see how it ran down, came back up, and notice how we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks now of not doing much sideways. That to me is building energy. So if I go to my daily charts now and I bring up, say, let's bring up, what's that there? 1, 2, say, yep, 3 years, 3 and a bit months worth of data. We can see, actually, let me just squeeze it up a little bit more. I'm just trying to get this here. Right, so we can see that we've had this sort of trend line coming up through here, as you can see, and we're sort of squeezing up into this triangle pattern through here. So I believe this is just going sideways right now. And then we also have this resistance level up the top here, right, just right there. Let me just squeeze this in a bit more. Right, so we're squeezing up into this level through here. We're probably likely to break to the upside, but that being said, guys, we have seen so many times that this could actually break to the downside, then have a big drop to the downside. But to me, looking at that weekly chart, looking at that weekly chart there, guys. To me, I would say that even if we did get a break to the downside, then it's probably likely to be short-lived. But if we did get a break to the upside, then we're probably likely to race back up towards, I'd say back up towards the highs up here. So I would say, looking at this level through here, we have that level through there. I would say on a conservative target would be that level through there, maybe a bit lower there, right? Conservative target would be that there. So if I zoom in right now, zoom right in for the next few months, if we can start to see a very nice bullish breakaway sort of candle through here, then we're probably likely to see a very nice move up to 12,000 out of this level through here. So just watch for that, guys. Wherever it breaks, if we break down, I definitely wouldn't want to be bullish there, because it's probably likely to be very short-lived if it is a breakdown. But if we do get the very nice break up through there, we're probably on our way up on a conservative target on a short-term basis when it about 12,000 there, when it looks at Bitcoin through there. Now, on to the very last thing that I promised you, which was the stock that looks like it's set to make a nice move, and that is the good old Amazon. All right, Amazon. Amazon to me right now is setting up really, really nicely. If I share what's going on right now, we've got this very nice short-term resistance through there. We can see how we're compressing up through here as well too. We haven't been really doing much now. Very, very, very sideways now for over a couple of months. So if we can get a what I would like to see is a very nice strong breakthrough candle or breakthrough bar with an increase in volume. That to me tells me, if I go to my weekly chart once again, I'm going to go to my weekly chart and I'm going to go, there was this massive triangle pattern back here, okay? Massive, massive, massive triangle pattern through here. And so if I project that up from there to there, all right, let's just from there to there on the 2000 level. And if I project that down, I'm projecting that from the resistance level down to the support level. And if I project that up, then this is where, or it's actually pretty much there right now, right? So around that 2,900 level, 2,800 there would be there. Now, why is that important? Because this massive target through here is likely to be hit. It's really interesting to see that once we do go for a run, we're probably likely to go for a run back up towards around the 2,800 level there. That'll be where we're probably, that there, maybe even 2,900. But once again, guys, I would really like to start to see Amazon start to break out. I want to see a breakout with a nice increase in volume. If I can get that, if I can get something like this here, guys, see this very nice big strong breakout candle with an increase in volume. If I can get that, like something like this, like a very nice strong breakout and an increase in volume, very, very, very high probability we're now likely to start to get, at least on a short term. This is what I call a short term move, right? Because I'm in and out probably within, say, 2 or 3 or 4 days. Because that's probably likely to happen short term. But if you can afford the options on Amazon, right, you still can make some really, really nice, good profits through there. But again, guys, even if that does happen, there's no guarantees of that making a profit, okay? Because this is a system, and the system comes with a win-loss ratio, and the win-loss ratio, you never know what trade. If you did take a trade like that, you need to be taking 10 trades in a row, no matter what you think. The same risk, the same sort of risk on your account. If you're trading options, the same option every time, the same way you manage it, the same, right? The same entry signal, the same risk, the same type of option, the same type of trade management. That's how you truly get ahead in the market. So if that does happen and you get into this, guys, make sure you have your stop in place. Make sure you have risk management. Don't be risking any more than a couple % maximum on your account, because that could also happen as well too, right? So anyway, especially in this territory right now. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's the little update for you guys today. It's going to be an exciting week. And I'm really, really excited. As I said before, guys, some of you guys, may have seen that I've done some bearish views. I've done some bearish videos on the stock market, but obviously I completely flip to neutral, or I have no idea where this is going. But at the end of the day, guys, as you can see, right, there's so many individual stocks out there that I'm not bullish or bearish on the markets. Now, I'm bearish long-term on the economy. Duh, like we know that's going to happen, right, over the next couple of years. It's just like, yeah. But when it comes to me trading these markets, I'm not a bull or bear. I'm a trader, right? I don't have a view on the markets, because if I come to the market with a view, a biased view, the market is bearish, oh my goodness, this is so bad, the market's going to crash again. Do you think I would have taken all those bullish trades last week? No, right? I wouldn't be any of those trades, and I wouldn't have made those profits, right? And so for me, guys, I'm not a bull or bear. I'm just a trader. When my system says get in, I don't question it. I get in. Some are losses, most are profits, rinse, recycle, repeat, and you can do well from there. And the question is, guys, are you following something like that? Because that's the laws of you getting ahead of the markets, right? Is, as I was saying before, when it comes to a system, it's the same entry, it's the same risk. If you're trading options, it's the same, right? It's like, if, say, for example, that sort of setup there, if you like that sort of setup there, which is a very, very high successful setup, not much going on, markets there stepping up, not much going on, breakaway bar, increase in volume. That's actually two trades exactly like that I took last week and did really well on. But here's the thing, guys. Then you start to have a trading plan, right? I am going to trade 5% of my account on this one trade here. I am going to buy the in the money option, in the money option, because that's a first or second in the money option to give me a bit of a buffer there. I'm going to have 30 to 60 days to run. All right. Because any less than 3 weeks to run on the option is not going to be good for your risk. So to protect yourself, 30 to 60 days to run. And I'm going to be in this from anywhere between probably 2 to 5 days. So what I mean by that is that if day 1, we have a very nice big move up, I'm out. Maybe day 2, maybe day 1 does something like this. Day 2 does something like this. And then day 3 does something like this. So maybe, and then day 3, guess what? I'm getting out on day 3, 50, 60, 70% profit. Thank you very much. Rinse, recycle, repeat, right? And then that happens. And then guess what? Maybe 20% of the time that happens, like, oh crap, oh, that was a loss. Take it, move on, rinse, recycle, repeat. So that's what you do, right? It's the same every time. It's the same risk. It's the same option. It's the same style of option. And it's the same way you manage. If you can do that, the same entry and the same type of plan, and you're consistent with that, guys, you guys can do so well out of these markets. You can absolutely crush it. Hey traders, John Howell here. Thanks for watching my video. For a limited time only, I am giving away free access to my brand new trading course. I've put all my most powerful systems, strategies, and trading techniques that I've learned over the last 15 years and put it in this course, and I'm giving it away for free for a limited time. See, in this brand new Go the Markets by the Balls trading course, and you can get it when you go to johnsfreegift.com, you're going to learn, firstly, you're going to get access to a brand new training that goes for 90 minutes, and you're going to learn all the details step by step to my #1 trading system with over a 90% success rate that works on any market and any time frame. You're also going to learn 3 powerful chart reading and trading techniques. You're also going to learn 2 more powerful trading systems, and also you're going to learn 7-figure trading secrets, mindset techniques, and so much more. There's top 13 mistakes you're going to learn, the 10K per month formula, and so much more. No, this is not a get rich quick scheme, but if you are struggling with your trading right now and you need help, then for a limited time, you can get free access to this. So go to johnsfreegift.com right now, or click on the very first thing in the description, because for a limited time, I'm giving away. So go to johnsfreegift.com right now and start getting access to this full complete trading course, plus also the free training with my #1 trading system with over 90% success rate. Go to that right now, and I'll see you on the next page.